We believe that success isn't about your competition. It's about embracing the journey of growth and innovation. Hi, I'm Christine Rothdeutsch.
And I'm Barbara Menino.
And today on Soapbox Wisdom, we're talking about your competition. It's good. But before we get into that, I want to remind you, please share Soapbox Wisdom with your community. Make some comments. Let us know what you think about our conversations. And let us know if there's something else that you'd like us, to cover in one of our episodes. So let's get down to it, Barbara. So, yes, today we're talking about competition. And again, this came up in one of our conversations. But this is something I remember when I decided to start my own business, and back then it was different than what it is now. I've morphed into who I am now. And at that time, I only would network locally. I didn't really do a whole lot online. Okay, so it was a long time ago. Yes, the internet existed, but anyway, uh, but I remember feeling when I was in a room and somebody else said they did something similar to me. It's like I had this feeling inside of me like, oh no, somebody else is doing oh God, I'm not going to get any work. It's like, and it took time, probably years, to let go of that and realize, oh my God, this is silly. There's there's enough work to go around, but I think many of us go there at times. And I don't want to monopolize this conversation. So Barbara, please,
Well, what you said, two things resonated when you clutched your chest, and I thought, yes, that feeling in your chest or in the pit of your stomach when you're afraid of competition. And the whole thing is based on insecurity. That whole idea of, will I ever be good enough? And then it oftentimes does take years. You realize just what you said, that there is enough business to go around. And so you can be in competition. It doesn't have to be scary. It can be a positive force. It can motivate you to do better. It can incent you to always be on your toes and refining your products and services to meet your customers' needs. And you can learn. So instead of comparing yourself to other people or your competitors and feeling inferior, you learn from them. You take some of the good stuff that they're doing, and this is key, you add your unique difference to it and make it your own, because that too is the beauty. Our individual uniqueness takes it away from head-to-head competition. It's
yeah, and
just
it
improvement.
when you think about it, it's pretty silly to think that when you decide to do your own thing, or maybe it's not even your business, but you're an employee of, I don't know, maybe a big insurance agency or a bank or something. It's pretty silly to think that you're the only person out there doing that. And to say that, well, I'm the one, when people need this, they're gonna come to me. Yeah, pretty silly thinking when you think about uh a lot of the brick and mortar businesses in your own neighborhood. I'm thinking right down the street from me, there's 3 auto repair shops, right in a row. The amount of gas stations that are on one street, all the different businesses out there. If they felt that way, then they wouldn't be opening the door. But yeah, it's pretty silly to think that you're gonna, but I think what maybe leads up to that is some of the organizations out there, the networking organizations where, oh, you can be a member, but you're the only one that holds that seat. I'm not saying anything is wrong with these things, but that then leads you to that mindset of, well, if somebody needs this, the business is going to come to me. What do you think that's part of where it comes from, that thought?
That's a really interesting point. That you are right. A lot of the organizations out there, one person, one skill set, um, and I belong to one such organization. And I, I'm thinking about what you're saying. I mean, in many ways, it seems like a protection. So within this group of people in one room, in a room that gets together every week, that person is somewhat safeguarded. That they're the only one delivering that service. There's a little ambiguity to that. It's like lawyers in a group. One is in there for personal injury, one is in there for real estate, one is in there for malpractice. But each of them, the personal injury attorney may also do real estate. The estates and tax attorney may also do real estate. So it's a little ambiguous. It's just that when you're in the room, you can only talk about that. But you raise an interesting point. It makes you overly sensitized to competition, right? And then you could have it flip over into the negative side of competition, that fear and insecurity that comes up again.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I started out on my business, I was doing a lot of research, and there just seemed to be so many people out there doing branding and marketing. And I always tell the story of so many of them had their MBAs. I joke from Harvard, but whatever. Me with my Bachelor of Arts in English, which was a great degree, but was I good enough? And it took me a while to get past that, realize I had a quality about me that would attract people to me and had nothing to do with who had MBA behind their name. You have to have confidence. Confidence is right up there with competition. That's what should balance it and make it okay.
Yeah, and that we look at that, what is it that we bring to the table? It's that education, it's that life experience, it's our personality. Personality, I think, plays a huge role in when somebody decides to take you up on your services or not. Far more than expertise. Of course, then there's price shoppers, and that you can't even battle that aspect if there's somebody out there just looking for the best price. But there's many variables that go into it, and we have to remember that, and that we aren't the right person for everyone. And I have to bring up a short story here. Yes, I brought a story to the table today, of a local women's group that I'm a member of. In it, we have 4 real estate agents, 4 women. They happen to represent the same, and I don't even know what the right terminology is, the same company, but different offices. Okay. So they're not directly connected, but in the long run, they are. And 3 out of the 4, and this just and I don't know, maybe the 4th has collaborated some too. They have collaborated on their knowledge. I mean, the youngest, the I shouldn't say young, the newest person in the business, when she first came to one of our meetings, one of the other agents said, "Hey, I want to talk to you and see if I can help you." And the woman was helping her, even though there was nothing there was nothing to gain directly because they weren't even in the same office. And then over time, it came out that the 3 of them were collaborating on some other stuff, some other knowledge this one had and was sharing with the others or the other office and everything. And well, they are going to be speaking with our women's group to show how, yes, you can, be in the same industry and support one another. But it was just very nice to hear what was going on with them. And they're working great together, when it's appropriate,
I just
supporting
think
one another.
that is so beautiful. In another C word, right? Collaboration instead of competition. And that is a possibility, not just to collaborate to help each other and teach each other and help people grow. Um, but there's even an opportunity for business by creating joint partnerships or joint ventures together in certain areas. So, again, your competitor is not necessarily your adversary, but a person with whom you can work.
Mhm.
I had a conversation recently. I may have shared this with you, but it was a story I loved. It is one of my doctors who has a fairly large but independent practice. And she's in her upper 60s and is not at all ready to retire, but is ready to pull back a little bit. And so she has hired uh, some new doctors in her practice, now people who may be in their late 40s, early 50s. And these docs deal particularly with breast cancer. And she told the story of being in the room with an oncologist. And she and this new member of her group, the younger woman, late 40s, early 50s, were in conversation about the treatments for breast cancer. And she said, I just sat back for a moment and I listened to this other gal speak. And she said, I said to myself, that is the future. And I thought, what a beautiful statement, because it's passing the mantle. It's not holding on to it and worrying about who's coming up behind you and whether or not they'll outshine you. It's passing the mantle. And it speaks to collaboration, and it speaks to shared learning and growth, which is where we started the conversation. So that's I just thought that was a beautiful story, as is yours about the real estate agents.
Yes, that's we need to have more conversations, getting to know, what other people are doing, even in similar or the same industries, because you never know what you're gonna uncover and discover that's going to actually help you and help others
Yeah,
in the long run.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
one thing to remember also is if you are looking to your competitors to learn from them, don't end up being a copycat. You
Mm,
don't want to be chapter and verse like them. You
mhm.
want to bring your own distinctive mark, imprint, something to the table because you have that. It's a way that you do business. It's the why of why you are in business. That's what makes you different. That's what sets you apart.
Yeah, yeah, and remember, in the end, all business, comes down to there's a customer on the end, right? It's like, yeah, here we are talking about, business owners and people who are trying to make sales and everything, but the customer is on the end. Remember, when you have that, customer-centric maybe approach, thinking about that, what can you do to benefit the customer in the long run? And maybe
Mhm.
sometimes it's referring to someone else. If you can't fully provide what they need, it's okay. It's okay to say, "This isn't quite a right fit." And I think, Barbara, because we are service-based, entrepreneurs, we might see more of that, in our world of when we speak to someone who's looking for our assistance of saying, I don't think I'm the right person for this, but here's somebody else that I think would be a good fit for you." And again, there's many reasons why a customer might not fit, and we won't even, go there, but just understanding, that having that kind of attitude is going to help in the long run. And yeah, it's really all about the customer in the end, and how you can be of best service. Um, and it's, opening okay, I'm gonna go there. I say
Oh,
opening your heart, instead of building up that wall of, "I gotta get the next sale."
yeah, and that's coming from a point which you just said, I got to get the next sale. That is coming from a point of desperation,
Mm,
which actually at the end of the day can undercut you getting the sale, can undercut you being able to speak about yourself in such a way that you'll attract people. But if you go in committed to what you do, confident in what you do, communicating what you do, there are a lot of C words in this discussion, but if you go in that way, you will attract people like a magnet, I always say. And you can, this is when competition can get bad, when you exhaust yourself, kind of, one of those gerbils in the cage, trying to outdo the competition. That leads to all this shiny object syndrome, which takes us off on bunny trails and doing things and spending on things which are a waste of time. But you're
mhm,
at, customer first. You're absolutely right. Comfortable with competition
mhm,
and committed to what you offer, and knowing that you can provide the best service to your ideal customer. In all honesty, it doesn't get any better than that. It enables you to go out and enjoy your day. So embrace competition, don't fear it, and go out and do terrific business. And be sure that you tune in again for another episode of Soapbox Wisdom. And when you watch, give us a like, give us a share, join the conversation.
Soapbox Wisdom is hosted by brand messaging and storytelling consultant Barbara Menino and business and mindset coach Christine Rothdeutsch. You can find them online at barbaramenino.com and christinerothdeutsch.com.